Hello everybody, happy Wednesday. See these pair of glasses? Little does everybody know out there that not just these glasses, but any pair of sunglasses holds a lot of power. You know, for people who are not comfortable talking, whether on camera or in front of people or a bunch of people, throw on the magic pair of sunglasses and you can do anything, because basically it's like nobody's there. And I used to tell everybody that before too. For professional wrestling, they used to ask how I was working on my delivery skills for my promos. And I told them I'd just put on one pair of sunglasses and stand in front of the mirror and have at it. It was already a benefit to me that I could talk shit. I mean, I still can. One of my catchphrases before was I can talk the talk, I can walk the walk, I can even chew bubblegum and walk backwards at the same time. So here's another cliche that a lot of people say back in the day. So back in the day of working for the moving company, when I got hired, I was asked what was my goal as far as getting paid, what was I asking for, and all I wanted was to make $100 a day, work 5-6 days a week. I was single. Technically I still single, because Hawaii doesn't observe common law marriages, and my rent was cheap. And we are back. Sorry folks, decided to take my show on the road today. Still sitting in the same spot, believe it or not, just different location on the island. Sitting down in a passenger seat of my truck. Was headed to the doctor's to have my foot checked out. They just wanted to, it's my monthly checkup. But we got stuck in traffic and noticed that I wasn't going to make it on time, so I just rescheduled it for next month.
Isabel told the maids. I woke up
back in the day.
You poor thing.
You know,
washed and scrubbed Isabel.
Back in the days when I was a mover, like I said, I was asked when I first got hired how much I was looking to make, and I said $100 a day.
Isabel had received more
I was only
bruises to know that this one too would go away on
making before taxes $600.
After an hour of their best,
Now, I mean, I thought that was good because rent was cheap.
Infuriated at their
I just started going out with my wife. Our daughter was young, but she didn't need much, even though she wanted everything.
Her mind was elsewhere.
So I thought it was $100 a day, 5-6 days a week. That was fine. Then later on, as I moved up the ranks in the moving industry. So in the moving industry, most companies go by seniority. It took me a good 10 years to get near the top. I never made it to the number one spot. Oh no, I take that back. I made it for a day. Because the number one mover in our company decided to take a 1 day leave of absence from the company. I didn't want to earn my stripes that way. So I kind of played mediator between him and the company to get him back,
He chose for her a splendid
because he never liked comeback.
which he said
Was not his intention.
so long as she
He went somewhere else and made an instant impact,
to don the gown until just a few minutes before her escort
and
to take her to the airport. If she needed any more
I was lucky
she should ask.
that he never really leave the company, so he came back.
Yes.
But working by seniority, I eventually was asked again how much I wanted to make a day. So I said, no, it'd be awesome making $200 plus a day. And I was told that it was possible now. What did I have to say to that? I will be back from a different location. Aloha. Back again. This time we are back on the windward side of Oahu. Kaneohe, Windward City Shopping Center. Had to go grab some stuffs. One of those stuffs is a ramen burger. I love those things. Eating a ramen burger, you can never go wrong. Unless they made them wrong. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So, in the moving industry, I had moved up far enough. I mean, I was close to the top. Second, as far as seniority went. And then when my friend did eventually decide to get out of the moving game as far as actively being on the road, then I moved up. Also, yeah, so I did make it to the top, but you know, as far as what was funny was I didn't have a CDL license. I couldn't drive because my doctor didn't want to sign off on any papers saying that my diabetes was under control, so I couldn't renew my license. So the only thing that trumped me being the guy with the most seniority was the guy nearest to me in seniority who had the CDL license. Meaning that he could drive a vehicle that could hold more crates and get more done in a day if he chose to do so. But then when my friend before me was number one, had moved on to being a boss in the company, we both agreed that it was time for me to get off the road, because moving is for the young boys, honestly. Old timers can, but if you been in a game for a while and then you do crazy things outside of the moving industry, it takes its toll on you. Makes your body age quicker than you really wanted it to. I mean, it wasn't an excuse, it was facts. That's how it was. So I was moved off the road and put into a supervisory position, so that was one way I could make more than $200 a day. On top of that, eventually he and I went and did jobs, because the last thing you like doing in the moving industry from a company's perspective, even though you're a short man, you do not ever want to tell the freight companies no. You don't want to tell the carriers no, Because really, why would you tell them no if that's where your money is at, right? What your excuse can be, you don't have enough manpower for them? No. You find the manpower, you create the manpower. So how that was created in the company I was with was my friend before I was learning to be a boss, like to lead the company. I was learning to be a boss, to lead from a different perspective of the company. And we were fresh from the road. Meaning that, like for me, I did all kinds of stupid stuff, yeah. My body was like a punching bag, experiment, doing all kinds of stuff. On top of that, I was doing professional wrestling. To do professional wrestling, you gotta stay in shape. Although I didn't get all my repetitions in as far as ring training went that I should have, I did, however, keep up with not only getting my exercise at work, carrying heavy stuff every day. I would still carry more heavy stuff by going to the gym after work almost every day. Then that dwindled down to a more reasonable schedule, like 2 or 3 times a week. So seeing that I was fresh off the road and my friend was pretty much fresh off the road too, every once in a while during summer season is busy season. During summer season, we turned it into almost every day. Had no choice. We had to hit the road. So we was making money on our hourly rate after we did the job. Most moving companies, you get paid for tonnage. Whether you packing people up or you moving people here. The difference was when you pack them up, your tonnage really depended upon how great you knew the game of Tetris. Because you had to pack that crate to the fullest without damaging nothing. And that, the weight inside the crate minus the weight of the crate minus the weight of everything. It's a whole bunch of math. The point was, the higher your density was per crate, the better your pay was. If you could knock an 8.0 or was it a 7.0 or something like that, your pay went to $9 per 100 pounds. Now if you're knocking out 10,000 pound jobs a day, that was like $900 to split among the crew. And when you get the taste of the money, you would pretty much not want too much people on your crew. You would like to keep it at 2, 3 at the most. And depending on if you as the crew chief, you would get more. Or if you want to split it even, you had the power to do that. You can control the way the money went. Say like if it was me and you, one person, the normal cut would be $52.48 on $900. If we was able to do the pickup of 10,000 pounds in a day, and we made that, man, you're looking at like nearly $475 to $500 just for me alone, and then the other $400 for my helper. And the part about that was crew chiefs, they dictated the pay. So let's say you had an off day and I deemed that your off day just wasn't enough, you wasn't holding up your end of the bargain, I could cut your percentage. Meaning I can go give me 60, give you 40, and on $900, people times that, I would have made $540 if I was the crew chief. And if I was doing that at getting tonnage and doing my hourly was unreal too, because I started at 6 in the morning and I went home when the final truck came back in, and everything was done. There were times I was starting work at 6 o'clock in the morning and finishing work at 12 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, depending on what time the last truck came in. And if I did a 10,000 pound job with somebody, it was banking. So I would do it would normally win hourly from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And at my hourly rate, I was getting like $13, $14 an hour. So that's 2 hours there. Moving company, the quicker you get the job done versus the money you're making, that really depended a lot on who you was working with. So not tooting my own horn, but burp. And when I mean burp, I mean burp, motherfucking burp. I wasn't the best, but like my father-in-law says, I was pretty freaking hard to beat. And teamed with the right people, really hard to beat. And so, like I said, my friend that was above me, honestly, he didn't have to toot his own horn, because just about everybody was tooting them for him. People from our company, people from other companies, people that never even know him, just heard of him, was tooting his horn for him. That's how good he was, honestly. So you work with him. I'm not saying I was getting a big cut. When it was just me and him, I was the helper, so I was getting a 48. I just making for reference to how, if I was working with different kind of math on everything. So let's just say I did that, right? So 2 hours at $14 an hour, $20. 10,000 pound pickups. Like I said, depending on who you work with, you can do them in real quick. So if you did them like in 2 hours and you made that money, it's like you're getting paid like almost a couple $100 an hour. Making another stop. Got the ramen burger. But I need gotta pick up some vape sticks. When that first came out, I was heavily against it. But nowadays, it seems more feasible than buying a pack of cigarettes, because a carton of cigarettes costs $100. Well, now it went up, so it's about $110, $120, something like that. And it's 10 packs per carton. That would normally last me just 10 days, maybe even less. But one vape stick, no matter how much I smoke it or take a hit from it, I can make that last for 7 to 10 days. I get paid monthly, so if I just buy 4, and they're not that expensive nowadays since it's an in thing, so the competitors gotta get up on each other and go cheaper. And nothing different about the taste. It's not the cheaper you pay, the cheaper the product. I'm finding it that the cheaper the pay, the better the product. So I'm spending like $25. I can buy 4 vape sticks for the same cost as a carton of cigarettes and make it last longer. So that saves me money there. Back to the moving. So yeah, so I was doing, if I could do the 10,000 pound, job, pickup, my cut was 48%, and I was doing hourly 2 hours before I leave for the job, and another 10 hours after it was done, because I go out, help other people, or I go back to doing my regular job. So I was already, doing 10 to 12 hours of hourly times 14. That's between $140 to $160 on top of, if I was getting tonnage, was over $400 plus $160 something. So I was banking out pretty good.